Today in the crypto space, we see a bit of volatility after Bitcoin got a huge rejection, $36,500 give or take, and Ethereum right around that $2,000 mark, definitely outperforming Bitcoin up approximately 6%. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are in the red right now. We have Dogecoin, Toncoin, XLM, and a few others coming down to those lower levels. However, guys, we do have some good gainers. Look at Rune and Kaspa definitely reaching those higher green levels. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin and of course the heavyweight of altcoins, Ethereum. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. Let's get right into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of this market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials, or better yet, join the Discord. The Discord is a great community. There's a lot of good alpha in there, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Guys, obviously this market right now as we speak is looking a bit interesting given the fact that we got a bit of volatility. Bitcoin did run up, got a big rejection out of nowhere as it was climbing to higher levels, closer to that $40,000 mark. It's very likely that we go back up there once again to test that liquidity to see if we can get a bit higher. But at the current moment, Bitcoin with that rejection, you know, I bet you there are some people looking at it as a maybe a blow off top, a local top at the current moment. So something to consider. But of course, today's video is about Ethereum, and we see Ethereum ran up and is holding steady. Could this be the beginning and the indicator of a altcoin season? Guys, here on the channel, we've been talking about this potential scenario to see Ethereum finally outperform Bitcoin, to see Ethereum finally wake up and begin the cycle. What I mean by the cycle is, you know, seeing people take Bitcoin profits, putting them into Ethereum, putting them into larger cap altcoins. Right now, we do see the larger cap altcoin doing okay. Dogecoin coming down approximately 6%. That is a bigger dip than expected, but nonetheless down to those lower levels. We have Tron coming down to those lower levels, and Chainlink a bit of a dip, but generally speaking here, these altcoins, these larger caps have been doing very well. Now what I'm expecting is that if we're going to have an altcoin season, is that we're going to see Bitcoin go sideways. It's got to find its range. We got to see Bitcoin within a range. Obviously it's too early to see where this range could come about, and this range could eventually be a structure, could be a bearish structure, it could be a bullish structure. All we really want to do is see what kind of structure Bitcoin is going to produce in the next little while, because as Bitcoin is forming that structure, it will go sideways, and that's when altcoins will take advantage of those market conditions. Bitcoin being boring means that altcoins have the opportunity to shine. So of course, we're always looking at altcoins here on the channel. We like buying dips, we like looking for good opportunities, and as you can see, there's a few dips in this market in the local time frame, in the short-term time frames, where we could potentially get in on a dip, right? It's not a huge dip. You're looking at about 3%, 5% give or take. Uniswap down 6%. We have you know, Filecoin a little bit, HBAR coming down approximately 5%, but we definitely still have gainers. You know, Kaspa coming down, and then obviously all of a sudden getting a bit of a pop right back to where it came from, almost is up 15% today. So Kaspa doing pretty good. We have VeChain still there, coming down to 7%, but still within range, still within an appropriate retracement level. And we do have a few others here that we got to pay attention to, like Near Protocol down a little bit here. We have Injective down a little bit. So a few dips along the way. You know, ultimately speaking, it's all about, do we have this altcoin season? And this is the reason why I want to focus on Ethereum today, is because as the leading indicator for altcoins, seeing Ethereum swell up and gain market interest could be definitely bullish for the altcoins. Now, There is also another catalyst here, is that with regards to news, we do have an Ethereum ETF being filed. Now, of course, that could be bullish. Obviously, that's a very bullish scenario. But we also have to discuss whether the possibility is that for it to actually come true, or is it going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event? Obviously, guys, we're going to talk about tonight at 7:30 Eastern, so feel free to join where we can discuss all of these altcoins, including Ethereum and this ETF that could be around the corner with regards to Ethereum. But you could expect that these altcoins will follow Ethereum's lead. Right now, we do have a few pullbacks in this market, 7%, 5%, 7%. It's not a huge double-digit dip, but nonetheless, a few dips in this market to be had. Okay, guys? So generally speaking, this dip today definitely got a lot of longs wrecked, and this is why we potentially saw a bigger long squeeze where a lot of people going long with a lot of leverage got squeezed with a bit of a rejection. The impulsive move to the downside was greater than expected because of the leverage that was there. So we could see a bit of an equilibrium in the next little while where we see potentially see Bitcoin get back to its previous level, and then maybe start making those higher highs once again. All right, guys, that's it. This general market right now is in a bit of a dip, nothing crazy, but 5% to give or take about 5-6% throughout the market. Some good gainers still, even Rocket Pool looking pretty good. But obviously up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All right, guys, let's take a look at some of these charts. Let's begin our analysis using Bitcoin as a leading indicator. Let's talk about Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at Ethereum. Bitcoin at the current moment is kind of looking a bit confused in the sense it doesn't know if it wants to get back up here to test these levels once again. It got rejected at about 38,000. Guys, it was trekking to that 40K level. Everybody and their neighbor has been talking about the 40K level. The question is, do we get back up to there once again to hunt for that liquidity? So let's see what's going on here. We got a nice little wick. Of course, that wick, it could be look like a temporary blow off top, a temporary retracement, whatever you want to call it. It could be considered an opportunity to see a reversal. But hold on here a second, because we've seen these type of scenarios. Let's kind of zoom in and I'll show you. Look at this one. Put yourself in the same context, right? It ran up, consolidated, went right back up, got a huge rejection. Even the following day, it kind of looked a little bit sideways and then finally continued to the higher levels. Now let's do it again. Kind of going sideways, went up, came back down. Maybe tomorrow we go sideways. Maybe during the weekend we kind of do nothing. Maybe we go sideways again, or maybe the FOMO comes right back in during the weekend when the retail market drives this a lot higher. Maybe possible. A lot of leverage, a lot of this, a lot of that, and we get to higher levels. So at this current moment, Bitcoin did break out of this wedge, or out of this channel. It did break out. It is currently above the breakout point, which is nice, and at the end of the day, it's staying in this current stance. It's still bullish for altcoins, such as Ethereum, of course. This move had a bit of volume in it, a bit of market participation, so that's really good to see. But at the end of the day, a lot of us are focused on that 40K level. Now, of course, we should be thinking about front running. If we get there, you might want to take a bit of profits off of that level just below it. Could have people already front run at about 38K. Is that a little bit too early? Yeah, I would think it's a bit too early. I think that we could come back up and test it again, this zone once more. But the most important thing is what is happening to Ethereum right now, outperforming Bitcoin, and that has a lot to do with the Bitcoin dominance and with the fact that altcoins could be in their own season. And of course, tonight we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance. I'll put it on the list so that we ensure that we take a look at that, and I'll put any requests that you have in top priority, guys. So that's a great time and place to make those requests live tonight at 7:30. We'll take a look at ETH. Once again, we'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance, because BTC.D is definitely an important metric to kind of take a look at as to where the capital is going to be flowing, cycling into. Are people taking profits and then cycling them into Ethereum? Let's take a look at Ethereum. What's going on with ETH? Today's video is about ETH, and you can see ETH right now hit that red arrow. Of course, that's where I expected a bit of a rejection, a bit of a reaction, let's put it that way. But ultimately, this ascending type of channel or wedge, the bullish target is all the way in this zone. We've entered the target. We've entered the bottom of the volume gap. We got there, got a bit of a reaction, and then we want to see if we can eventually get to the top of the volume gap, which you can see ends at about $2,300. Guys, that would be absolutely bullish, of course, getting to, Ethereum to that level. But but ultimately still within structure. So let's be real about this. It's still within structure, even if we break through this volume gap. However, during this time, we should see Ethereum shine. When it reaches this level, I want to see where the cycle, what happens to the cycle. People taking profits off of Ethereum and looking for altcoins. And this is where we could see altcoins run. When Ethereum takes a break, when Bitcoin takes a break, Ethereum runs. When Ethereum takes a break, altcoins run. And this is all because of the money flow, money flowing from larger cap to lower cap, and obviously flowing within narratives as well, right? What narrative is hot right now? Is AI narrative hot? The DeFi narrative, gaming narrative, so many narratives out there, but what is hot at the current moment? Expect some good volatility, right? And also expect some of those lower caps that we've been discussing here on the channel, because they're definitely full of hype, a lot of good market interests. So that's also very important. You don't want to get into projects that are stale and not being spoken about in the in the overall market. So this is obviously a form of, you know, fundamentals. When there's hype, you definitely want to get involved. But as we speak, it's still very possible. We got to understand that this is a bearish type of pattern if we get rejected here, especially if we get rejected at about $2,300. Why? It's because it does look like a bearish type of flag. A bear flag like this would mean insinuate that we could come down and test the lows once again, and maybe even in fact make a lower low. That would be the job of this bear flag, right? But what about if we do get a pop and continue to the upside, and this was in fact a nice reversal pattern? And typically speaking, these patterns are not reversal patterns, but you know, it's all about probability. You never know. And in fact, what we could end up happening is getting a bit of a rejection, coming down, breaking down, hunting liquidity at these lower levels, people exiting their positions because of fear, getting a bit of a capitulation, not getting a confirmed lower low, and then all of a sudden off to the races we go. It could all happen, and this is why I'm preparing. And how I prepare is by ensuring that I'm not overexposed and I have cash on the side just in case, you know, altcoins including Ethereum decide to do that. But in the immediate short term, I think we have bigger plans here. The plan is right now is to capitalize on this weak spot, this volume gap. If we break right through it, the next area of resistance is 2,300. If we happen to have enough strength to see Ethereum break to higher levels, of course, guys, 3K is a nice psychological level. We have an empty space here with not much volume into this price action. You can see the majority of the volume is right over here, and obviously previous price action all the way down here. But this whole entire consolidation built a good level of support that if we do break up, maybe we do come down and back test. But ultimately, look at all this weak zone that we have right here that could cause Ethereum and eventually to snap to about 3K easily, and then obviously in the future to see this thing in all-time highs in price discovery. So this is something that we all need to consider that right now is the Ethereum volume is picking up, interest, eyes are on Ethereum. That's ETF being filed and registered, could be an indication where we get a lot more volume into Ethereum. So something to take consideration. The 4 hour, of course, perhaps we are overbought. Let's look at some of this momentum. It is overbought with a bit of bearish divergence, but I'm just going to say, guys, we've been seeing a lot of these altcoins invalidate these bearish divergences in this type of hype, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the RSI, and we see the MACD giving us a bit of confirmation of that. But nonetheless, these EMAs and these histogram bars are nice and green, facing up, and it could be that we eventually invalidate and continue to the upside, like many other projects, including Bitcoin, invalidated that bearish divergence. So why can't Ethereum invalidate all these divergences as well? This is the thing here, guys. When there's a lot of interest, when there's a bit of hype, a lot of that hype and interest and momentum invalidates all of it. So we got to be prepared that Ethereum could be breaking out here, and it could be prepared. The time to get in on Ethereum was at lower levels, was where Ethereum was at, you know, planking where nobody was interested, where everybody was like, you know what, not really that concerned about a $1,000 Ethereum. This was the epic time to build that position right around 1,000. Back testing around this zone was another good opportunity. Now we're taking off. Now we're breakout traders. If you're looking for a breakout trade, this is it, right? Now some people might be looking at a cup and handle, nice rounded bottom cup, nice retracement that's a bit too deep to be considered a cup and handle, but nonetheless the ice line or the breakout point is so clear. If we break above this $2,000 level, you can see high, and this high was a bit of a liquidity grab. Sure, why not? If we break above it once again, it's likely that we hit that 23 and maybe start hitting that 3K level, guys. That would be a very bullish target, and that's where I would be looking for profit taking opportunities here on Ethereum. So looking pretty good. Now again, back to the lower time frames. Let's kind of look at what's happening here in the short term. for a short-term move, you can see that we are definitely entering that volume gap and getting a bit of rejection. We have this high and we have this high right here and this little bit of a fake out. Now the bearish divergence is there on the 4-hour and it is also on the MACD, and we are definitely overbought. Traditionally speaking, if we were going sideways still, if we were at the bottom of the range looking for a reversal, I would say, guys, take profit, walk away. And I still would say that, take a bit of profit, because if you happen to buy in at the absolute bottoms that we've been talking about here on the channel, you're up. You're up significantly. You basically doubled your money. Okay, so this is important to understand that taking half on the double is a viable strategy. Half on the double essentially means, if you do quick maths, it means that you're taking your initial investment out. Your initial capital is off the table and not being risked. So the rest of it is house money. And in that case, if it's just house money, let it run. Let it run. If it comes down and takes a dip, no worries. You have capital already reserved, prepared to buy the dip and reaccumulate with those profits or that initial investment. So that's the strategy here, guys. Also, trail up a stop loss. If you bought in at way lower levels, let's talk about down here. Why not put a stop loss right underneath these lows at about 1500, give or take? That would be a great place to protect your gains just in case this thing decides to roll over and break trend and come down to lower levels. At the end of the day, you want to remain profitable. And in order to consider yourself a profitable trader, guess what? You have to realize those profits and take a bit off the table. So again, breaking up to those higher levels is really good. I like this little gap right here. The size of this gap is really interesting. Let's look at it. It's about a 12% dip. A 12%. Sorry, let me do it this way. 14.5% rally to the upside, which is decent. And if Ethereum keeps on showing this strength, we're going to see some of these altcoins also show some strength, and we're going to get some of that volume in or an interest into alts. So I'm expecting alts to do well as well. Obviously here, guys, we'll be live tonight at 7:30 Eastern. If you want to talk about crypto news and price action, that's a great time and place to make some requests on some of the bullish projects you're interested in. Obviously, guys, keep those emotions in check, because at this current moment, we see this market really hyped up and looking for positions at tops in some of these cases. So be careful here, guys. If you want to talk about crypto news and price action, join me tonight at 7:30 Eastern. And of course, if you want to join me on any of those socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to sign up to that Discord. Great community, lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.